Hey guys, Marcin here, bringing of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to talk about the Int Gohan Goten and Trunks banner that will be coming out very soon for both versions of the game, and of course answer the classic question for every banner, as it says in the title: should you summon on this banner or should you skip? Now, I know for a lot of people there's not even really necessarily much of a choice, right? With this releasing as the kind of surprise, like, ending part of the Global Dokkan campaign, I know a lot of people are going to be in a position where they can't really summon anyway, due to the fact that we've just had the four main, like, dual Carnival X Dokkan Fest banners. The banners are pretty good, the units are all pretty good, so I imagine most people are fairly tapped out for stones, even with the part 2 content that we've been getting, top grossing, like some of the events, like the weekly missions, all that stuff, giving out quite a few stones. I know a lot of people will have still been putting those back into the part 2 banners, or potentially even the part 1 banners, depending on how your summons have gone. So I know some people aren't going to be in a position to summon anyway. Of course, as well, as I should mention, I feel like this shouldn't need to be mentioned, but I got a comment on one of the older videos, so I guess I should point out, obviously everyone should summon on the banner with the free tickets that we're all going to be able to get. This is, of course, more so to talk about whether it's worth spending your stones on the banner or not, right? Because at the same time that the banner comes out, we will also get the Seriously Serious event new stage, which, if you do that first, does give you 14 tickets, so you can do 2 7-unit multis on this banner completely for free. And obviously those tickets can be hit or miss. Like, I've not pulled any of the new units off of these free tickets that they've been doing from since Golden Week, basically, with the Seriously Serious and then the Dokkan Day, but I know a bunch of you out there have pulled at least one of the new units from those free tickets, so obviously you want to give that a try first. And then the question is, should you summon on this banner with stones? So the big thing to bear in mind, or the big thing to think about here straight away, is the fact that this banner is separate from the other banners, right? We had the confirmation of this. You don't get pity coins for the GDC banners. You can't use the pity coins that you got from the 4 GDC banners. This is its own separate thing with its own green Dokkan Fest Carnival, Dokkan Fest pity coins, just like we normally would get with the filler Dokkan Fest units. And you'll be collecting those by summoning on this banner, and the pity can only be used on this banner. So obviously, if you're someone who was saving up your pity coins from the GDC, you can obviously go ahead and use them on one of the Global Dokkan campaign characters. But yeah, you will not be able to get a copy of the Gohan, Goten and Trunks without having to summon, unfortunately. However, the Dokkan Fest campaign, like the Dokkan Fest pity, is better overall, I guess, for a single banner, right? It's 200 coins to get the character. That's 1,000 stones, minus, of course, any extra ones you get from trading in the bonus SSRs that you get from summons. If you're someone who is able to trade in a lot of units, like if you have a lot of units rainbowed and you're pulling all these random old unfeatured SSRs and they're giving you free coins, then usually it seems to work out, from my own personal experience, because obviously I have most of the non-new or like Dokkan Fest units rainbowed, usually works out as being around 700 stones, depending on how many SSRs you pull, which is not bad. Obviously, the fact that the banner has pity, you know you're going to get the unit if you do go for it. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people who, after the 4 GDC banners, I should say, I guess I was going to say 2 parts, would still have 1,000 stones to go all in on this banner. But obviously, yes, it has its own separate pity, but that means, like the normal Dokkan Fest pity banners that we get, every 3rd multi you get a guaranteed featured character, and that you can do that 7 times. So up to 21 multis, the 3rd one is going to give you a guaranteed featured. And to be fair, by the time you've done 20 multis, you would have 200 coins anyway, right? Because that is 1,000 stones. So you're guaranteed to get them at some point. There'll be people out there that just throw 150 stones to do the, one rotation to get a GSSR and end up pulling them. But I mean, good luck, obviously, for everyone who is going in. But when it comes to the banner lineup itself, this is a big problem, and it is very annoying when they do stuff like this. Usually we kind of see this with yellow coin LRs or carnival LRs, with these like filler banners where the unit themselves seems really good and really fun. Like the Gohan Trunks and Goten unit is worth summoning for in the sense that the unit is very good. However, then they're stuck on a banner with a bunch of other characters that realistically are at this point not really worth pulling, right? There's the Spopovich banner unit, which is a super random choice. Like, obviously I get the connection between like the Buu Saga, Gohan, like Spopovich, you know, maybe we'll get like a new Videl or something maybe, because there's the Peppy Gals banner coming up at some point later this month. It's just such a random choice for a unit that, like, with their leader skill and everything, you would think a hybrid Saiyan youth character would be perfect for adding another newer character to the roster for their team, but instead they give them a banner unit who is a character that can't even be run on their team. And I had a quick read through his passive. He doesn't seem anything crazy, so it's not like he's a must-have for one of the other GDC units teams or anything like that. So definitely a bit of a weird one when it comes to Spopovich. So it's certainly not him as the banner unit that's making the banner like have value to summon on. Then we have the Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. I think he's returned, what, once before, maybe? Obviously, he's in kind of a weird spot. Even on release, people were disappointed with his overall performance. I think he's okay. Like, obviously, with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, with the extra damage reduction, like, from the 10th anniversary, like, he can be okay. I mean, I did manage to beat the Rose and Zamasu event with double Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta leads, so it's not like he's completely aged out of having any use whatsoever. But he's probably not like a target unit, right? I definitely wouldn't say, oh, you should summon on this banner because you might get Daima Vegeta copies, right? And then, of course, we have the Golden Week characters from 2024, the Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and they are both in kind of a sketchy situation. I mean, Goku can be okay in short events because he has that damage reduction right at the start, and obviously events that can stun. Like, he was really good in Battle Hardened Formidable Foes when that came out during the anniversary. That was like an event that kind of gave him a new lease of life. But as events go on for longer, like, his defense is just not enough, and as his damage reduction dwindles, then obviously he becomes a massive liability. And then Int Fat Buu is just one of those weird units. I talked about him the last time I did a TUR like tier list, where it's really difficult to place him on a list because, like, in certain events, especially ones that are a bit on the shorter side, like if you're talking maybe 6-7 turns or less, this guy can still be really useful because he comes onto rotation, right? Even if he's off leader skill, you can put him on a team. He comes onto the rotation. You put him in slot 3. He gets instantly killed by the first attack because he's aged out in terms of defense, especially on turn 1. But then you revive. Then because you floated him off, he doesn't come back for 3 turns. So even if he's on turn 1, he doesn't come back till turn 4. Then when he comes back on turn 4, because he's revived, you can use his active skill, so you Ghost Usher the turn, then you float him off again, he's not coming back again until turn 7. So if you're winning the event by or on turn 7, like, he doesn't need to take another hit, because then obviously he would die again, right? And then you would actually lose because you can't revive. So in events that you can win in like 6 to 7 turns, he can still be useful for getting like the free revive and then like the free Ghost Usher turn. Especially considering when he comes back again, like if he was on turn 1, like we said, it would be turn 4. If he's on turn 2, it would be turn 5. Like when he comes back again, you're going to be nearer the end of the event when the boss is at their hardest, and then you get a free Ghost Usher turn. So he can still be quite useful. It's kind of weird. He's in a weird spot. Like, compared to his actual performance, like his defense, his attack stats, all that kind of stuff, he's definitely outdated compared to some of the other options we have now. But because of his weird utility, like, he can still be kind of useful. Now, the other big thing, of course, is we can only see from this banner art from the data download 5 of the 10 featured units, because, of course, being a Dokkan Fest banner, there will be 10 featured units. We can take a look back. This was the last Dokkan Fest banner before the GDC, right? We had the Mercenary Tau, and we had his banner unit. We had the Buhan returning for the first time. Now, if a new Dokkan, like if one of the newer Dokkan Fests was returning for like the first time, which I guess some of the most recent ones, it'd have to be like Kid Goku or STR Cell, they would be on the banner art, and they're not, right? So I think that then we're not going to have any like newer units, right, in to fill these other gaps. But there are 10 featured SSRs on these banners, which is another reason why the banner is probably a bit questionable for a lot of people. 10 featured units. and going over the characters we've already talked about, like of all the characters on this image of the banner art, the only one that I would say that is actually worth like you summoning for is the Gohan, right? Which is usually the case when it comes to like yellow coin LRs and stuff like that, right? Where it's always just the new main unit is the one you want and everyone else on the banner is just kind of there. Now, the rest of the banner lineup could be interesting because it will give us, hopefully, an indication of a unit that is potentially going to easy A. But also, remember, this is a Dokkan Fest banner. So, for example, everybody wants Tech Super Saiyan 2 LR Gohan to easy A, but he's a yellow coin LR, so he can't be on this banner. So that won't give us any sort of indication. In terms of Dokkan Fests, we did a video talking about yesterday the units that could potentially easy A that would give a buff to Hybrid Saiyans. And we have like the AGL Kid Gohan from the Garlic Jr. saga. We have the AGL transforming Trunks that transforms into the Super Saiyan, the one from the Freezer and King Cold fight. If either of those guys are featured on this banner, then my assumption would be that they are going to easy A. So considering we've been on a pretty decent run with quality of EZAs recently, especially for like the big units, I know some of the sub EZAs were questionable, but they would obviously be a nice bonus because hopefully they will get good EZAs, and then them being featured on the banner is always helpful. But realistically, we're looking at probably just older Buu Saga related characters, maybe youth characters like the GT Pan, physical Goten and Trunks, who obviously they have an EZA already and will potentially get a new lease of life being run on this new team. But honestly, overall, the banner lineup itself seems like it's pretty bad. So that is a check in the do not summon column. So I mean, this banner I feel like is in just a really awkward spot, like a really weird time slot, releasing at the end of the GDC, even if you have stones. You also have to remember when we talk about these summon or skip situations, we got to think about what's coming out in the future as well. So we know we're getting missions with the release of this EX part and then Dokkan Day on the 15th that are giving us tickets for another future banner that we still don't know what that is exactly. That will be a banner that comes out later in August, so that's another thing that's upcoming. And then of course September, we don't know when exactly it's going to be, but that's when the rebranded Tanabata celebration will come out, and that will be a Dokkan Fest LR and then a Part 2 Carnival LR. And in the past, the Tanabata units have been things like the Tech Gogeta or the Int Vegeta and Trunks, who obviously when they came out were very highly rated in the game. We had the Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Was it Tech UI was a Tanabata unit? Like, characters for the Tanabata usually come out and are pretty well placed in the meta for how good they are at the time of release. So that's another thing you have to think about that is coming out very soon after this banner. So I think I talked about it in my video when we talked about these guys' details. I mentioned it when I did the community response video as well. I think this unit is kind of perfectly placed in this kind of time slot because I think they're a really good, really fun unit, but especially with a really bad banner, they're a unit that I feel like most people, you should just be okay with skipping them, right? Because not only is it an awkward time slot, the banner's not great. They're a good unit, but they're not like a must-have unit at all. And because they're a Dokkan Fest LR and not like a Carnival LR, they will come back again on banners a little bit more frequently, right? With things like the anniversary, future anniversaries, future Global Dokkan campaigns, future Tanabata, like all that kind of stuff. Anytime Dokkan Fest LRs are around, like, these guys have the potential to come back on another banner. So I think for most people, I would say this is a very easy skip. If you're free to play or you spend maybe just a little bit here and there, I still think this is a very easy skip. Not in the sense that it's easy skip because the unit's not good, but just with the current situation and everything going on around it, I think, like I say, most people are going to be tapped out from the GDC anyway. I think for the most part, this is a skip. Unless you're a whale or a collector or you're just a massive Gohan or Goten and Trunks fan, I think most people should probably skip this banner outside of the free summons. Obviously, if you're somebody who does spend money on the game, we know that we have the purchasable tickets that you can buy, but obviously that's not relevant for a lot of people. Like I say, we'll all get these free tickets, so go ahead and use those. But I would say for the most part, probably an easy skip. If you're somebody who either got super lucky during the global Dokkan campaign and you do have a bunch of stones left over, or maybe you didn't summon a huge amount in like part 1 or 2, depending on how you felt about the character choices, then, you know, if you want to throw the 150 stones at the banner for that one rotation with the guaranteed featured, then it's probably not the end of the world, but I definitely wouldn't recommend most people to do that, especially if you're only sat on like a couple of 100 stones. I think this banner is going to be a skip for most people, but let me know what you guys think. Obviously, you know, as a content creator, I want to pull the unit so we can do different videos and stuff. I will be live to summon for the characters, so I'll be live about half an hour before the banner comes out. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. We'll do the Seriously Serious event, get our free tickets, use them first, and then do some summons on the banner and see how we get on. I'll summon on the banner so you guys don't have to. Hopefully I will see you guys at the stream and maybe get some good luck. So, like I say, when it comes to the big question, summon or skip, I think this is a fairly easy answer, skip for most people for sure. I think everyone, outside of people who will just summon on any banner regardless, or would summon for any like Gohan or Goten and Trunks, I think this is a fairly easy skip for most people. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Who else do you think we will see featured on the banner for the potential Easy A? I'm saying if we see that AGL Kid Gohan from the Garlic Jr. thing featured on the banner, then I'm definitely locking in that he's going to get an Easy A, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let me know all your thoughts. Are you summoning? Are you skipping? Let me know in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.